Okay.
So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to His confounder Acharya is Divine Grace, Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. We welcome you all to today's SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class. Today is Srila Prabhupada's appearance day. As some of us maybe have celebrated, for those who have celebrated the day before yesterday, Janmashtami, so they must have been celebrating Srila Prabhupada's appearance yesterday. But for us here, we're celebrating Srila Prabhupada's appearance today, and we greet each and every one of you, happy Janmashtami and Prabhupada appearance celebration. So today we continue our daily SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM discourse. We have today good fortune to have our senior godbrother, His Grace ISVARA PRABHU, who will be speaking to us from SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We're still discussing from the second canto, chapter 5 of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Today's text will be test number 34. So ISVARA PRABHU, who does not need so much of introduction because he's one of us, we thank you very much for honoring our invitation. So if you're ready, we'll put the verse on the screen and we can start.
All right. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tabhaktayano Namo Namaha Agyanatimindasyā Ganangana Salakaya Chaksusumita Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Sechitayamano Vishta Stapita Yena Bhuta Yile Sairupakadama Yadadati Sampadantikan Vandeha Sri Guru Chita Padakamana Sri Guru Vaishnavasya Serupan Sakajatan Sagan Ragunatan Vitanatan Sajivan Sadhuetan Sabadutan Parajana Santa Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Shirada Krishna Prasagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitamsya. Amma Prajita Kadavota Paramoni Masham Satan Vedam Vastabam Atavastu Shivadan Tapatayo Mulana Sima Bhagavate Mahamani Kriti Kimvai Parishvara Sadio Ridia Varita Kripita Krishna Nikama Kapatalu Kalitan Falan Suka Muka Travasamvitam P Bhaktam Bhagavatam Rashamalaya Muhura Hura Rasika Bhuvi Bhavaka Atoyam Brahmasutanam Bharatata Vininaya Gayati Bashara Posho Virata Paribrimisha Saviditi Asanam Saram Paribrimita Sababidam Tam Saram Hi Si Bhagavatam Vishati Tarashamitasya Atiptashana Yatya Sharati Kochi Mukam Grativa Chalam Pangu Langati Grihi Akipata Bande Sri Gurudin Tarine Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shmati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nebise Sasunya Badi Pashta Dishtarine Vachakapatrubhyascha Kripasuni Bevacha Patitanam Pavanavibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai. So I'm very happy to be talking this thing. What's going on there?
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I think Saadi Prabhu is still having some challenge. You can go ahead. We'll try to manage it from the back end.
All right. So I'm very happy to be here this evening after being here last month. I thank everyone who is online and listening to this Bhagavat discourse. Now, this is a very especially auspicious month. This month of Bhadra, and there's the demand that Lord Krishna appear this month. So yesterday was Janmashtami, and today is Prabhupada's appearance day, as Seneca Prabhu has already said. So, which means I'll be speaking about Lord Krishna. Of course, the verse there in Bhagavatam verse, but as part of our tradition, if there's an appearance of the Lord, then we have to speak on that. And of course, appearance also of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada also. So which means a big celebration. It's a big topic, big subject to talk about. So, but first I just read the verse and then we'll comment on that. And then I will go to discuss Lord Krishna's activities. So, okay, we read Bhagavatam verse. Vasa Poga Sahasrante Tad Andam Mudake Sayam Kalakama Sabavosto Jiva Jiva Majiva Yat. Vasa Puga, many years. Sahasra Ante, of thousands of years. That, Andam, the universal globe, Udake, in the Kauja water, Sayam, being drowned, Kata, eternal time, karma, action, Swabhavashtaha, according to the modes of nature, Jiva, the Lord of the living beings, Ajivan, non-animated, Ajivayat, caused to be animated. Thus, translation of Prabhupada by His Divine Grace, Vaisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus, all the universes remained thousands of eons within the water, the causal ocean, and the Lord of living beings entering in each of them caused them to be fully animated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. I mean, this purport. Just 1 second. Priya? iPad. The Lord is described here as a Jiva. Okay. The Lord is described here as a Jiva because He is the leader of all the Jivas, living entities. In the Vedas, He is described as the Nitya, the leader of all other Nityas. The Lord's relation with the living entities is like that of the father with the sons. The sons and father are qualitatively equal, but the father is never the son, nor is the son ever the father who begets. So, as described above, the Lord as Gabodakashayi Vishnu, or Hiranyagarbha, super soul, enters into each and every universe and causes it to be animated by begetting the living entities within the womb. Within the womb of the material nature, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 14.3, after each annihilation of the material creation, all the living entities are merged within the body of the Lord, and after creation, they are again impregnated with the material energy. In material existence, therefore, the material energy is seemingly the mother of the living entities, and the Lord is the father. When, however, the animation takes place, the living entities revive their own natural activities under the spell of time and energy, and thus the varieties of living beings are manifested. The Lord, therefore, is ultimately the cause of all animation in the material world. So this is very, very, as always, the Bhagavatam description is always wonderful, because Bhagavatam is about the descriptions of it's called the narrations or description of the wonderful Supreme Lord. SRIMAD means beautiful, and Bhagavat means the Lord. Bhagavan. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is the origin of all the incarnations. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. There are many, many incarnations. Many, many incarnations are there, many, many expressions are there, but Krishna is the origin, because sometimes people make the confusion, like especially here in India, whereby there are so many, many forms of God. Many, many forms of gods are there, but there sometimes the confusion is there that who is actually the supreme? Who is the top, or who is the supreme among all the forms of God? So which means unless one is very, very well educated in the Bhagavatam, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the proper Sampradaya, now it's difficult to really ascertain who is the supreme person. Now, actually, it's mentioned that one time there was one person who had visited India, and this person was interested to know about the Supreme God. So this person was going towards many, many temples, Vishnu temple, many, many temples. And it's in that, as he was traveling, as he was going from temple to temple, we see that different forms of God, they always carry some weapons. Just like Lord Ramachandra, he has a bow and arrow with him. Parasuram, he has his axe with him. Many, many forms of Vishnu, they have their particular weapons within. Yeah. But when he entered Krishna temple, he saw Krishna is only playing the flute. The Lord is only playing as if flute only. That's Krishna. Krishna he doesn't carry weapon. He carries only the flute. So this person said, "Oh, so this," he said, "Oh, this God is only playing. He's only playing music and playing flute." And I said, "This must be the Supreme God, because he's not bothering of engaging in any kind of activities." So Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anandi Adi Govindam Sava Karana Karanam. So Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachidananda Vigraha. So is Krishna. There's so many Ishwaras. Many Ishwaras are there, but the Param Ishvara, the Supreme Ishvara, is Krishna. And what is his nature? His nature is Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha means forms. His form, he has an eternal form of knowledge and bliss. And Anadi, he has no beginning, he has no origin. Adi Govinda is the origin of everything. He has no origin himself, and is the origin of anything. And Savakarana. Karana means the source, is the cause of all causes. So just like this chapter is about the cause of all causes, is the supreme personality of God. Everything is emanating from him. Everything is emanating from him. Now, as I'm going to be describing in the topic about Krishna's appearance, that he's the origin of everything. Everything comes from him, but at the same time, we find that Krishna is become somebody's son. He's become somebody's lala, you know. Somebody's becoming his parent, somebody's becoming his friend, somebody's becoming his lover. Same God. So this is something that is very, very much mysterious to understand. Oh, how can you talk of God that he's become somebody's son, he's become somebody's baby, and sometimes, you know, we read about how Santa Maria Yashoda would chastise Krishna, and we find out Krishna is naughty, chastise him, and they want to bind him, bind him. So it's like people, they say that, how can you people describe God like this? That God is stealing from somebody's house, and God become naughty, and then his mother chasing after him, caught him, and then his mother binding him up. What kind of description is this? This is blasphemous. This is blasphemous. This is not God as we have understood God. God is the most powerful person. He is the judge of everyone. You know, this is God. He's the most powerful person. He's the judge of everyone. You know, so this is the conception of God that is known by everyone in the world. This is the conception of God. Which means the one who is the supreme person, is supreme, is the most powerful person, is most everything. Now, in this verse, just like the verse we're hearing today, this kind of verse is what people want to hear about God. That God, yes, he is the supreme person. He is the cause of all causes. Now, this is what we hear in the early part of Bhagavatam, but when you reach the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, whereby the intimate nature of God has been described. The intimate nature of God is been described. Like if some of you have gone to ISKCON Vrindavan YouTube channel yesterday morning, how Krishna has been described as being Lala. Lala means the darling boy of his mother, the darling boy of his father. As how it's been described, you know. This is 10th canto of Bhagavatam, in the first canto of Bhagavatam, second canto of Bhagavatam, or third canto, practically all the canto, all the 9th chapter, is so describing about the supremacy of God. The intimate nature of God is not described, because people have to be prepared, and that's what Bhagavatam did, to prepare everyone to understand God. And ultimately, when the God is fully understood, then the intimate nature of God can be understood. So in this verse, he said that all the universes which are floating in the in the universal, in the culture ocean, many universes are there which are floating, and all these universes which are floating in the culture ocean, and all these universes, they come from the body of Vishnu. So Mahavishnu is there. Mahavishnu, so many universes are coming from his body. That's Mahavishnu. Because from his paw of his skin, all the universes are coming. Now, and that's the same Mahavishnu, he then expanded himself into Garbhodakasha Vishnu. And this Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he entered into each and every universe. So this verse is it said Jivan Ajivan. Jivan, what's that verse? They mention here that Jivan Ajivan Ajibarjat. So the Supreme Lord himself it is said to be living entity. And then other living entities are Jivant. So Ajivant is Ajiva means those who are completely let's say they are totally dormant. And those dormant entities, and then it is mentioned here, Ajiva, yet they made again to become animated again, which means because there is always constant creation and dissolution. Creation is always there and the destruction is always there. At the end of a particular manifestation of the universe, especially in the night of Lord Brahma, at this night, when the Lord Brahma days finish. So all the living entities in the world, because normally at the end of the Lord Brahma's day, then Lord Shiva will destroy the universe. He destroys all the planet. And all the living entities, they all become, they all go inside the body of Vishnu. And when they go inside the body of Vishnu, they become merged. And then they merge to the body of Vishnu, and then they become dormant. They become dormant because all the activities stop. No more activities. No more activities. So everything is stopped. They become dormant. And then again, then the next day of Lord Brahma, so the next day of Lord Brahma, again, when there's another creation, and then all those created living entities again, they are made again to wake up. They are made to, they are waking up again. The activities in the universe again will again resume, and all those entities, they will resume the activities based on what they've done previously. Now, of course, the mentioned that in the cosmic ocean, when all the universes are floating, so they're like dead matter. They are floating like dead, all the ingredients. The total, it's called Mahatattva, the totality of universal ingredients. This is actually common. So they are floating in the cosmic ocean, and then by the glancing of Vishnu, so when the Lord glance at them, and everything become the universe become alive, and that glancing of Vishnu is the living entities that who are impregnated into the womb of the totality of materialistic ingredients. So the casting of the glance of Vishnu, that the living entities this is actually the living entities who are made to enter who are made to rejuvenate. And that is said, that's why the Lord Vishnu is said to be the father for living entities. And the earth, the great ingredient earth is said to be the mother, because when there's a child is it's placed into the womb of the mother by the seed coming from the father. And then there's pregnancy is there, and then after pregnancy, and then the child is born. So this is a similar situation of the universal manifestation. So in the Bhagavad Gita, which the Prabhupada cited in the purport, in the 14 to 10, so the Lord said, Mama Yoni Mahabrahma, Tashmin Gaban, Dadamyaham, Sambhava Sababhutanam, Tatu Bhavati Bharata. So the Lord said the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth. And it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the birth of all living beings, O son of Brahma, O son of Bharat. So this is the what the Lord is saying. So the Lord, this is the confirmation of what you just said by the Lord himself, how the living entities, how they are impregnated into the universal affairs, into universal ingredients. So he said, Gaba means the womb, the womb of material nature. So the womb of the material nature is the seed is being put, the seed is being placed into the womb. That means the seed of the living entities. And that seed of the living entities is done through the glance of love. It's not that if you want to get a child, there has to be some kind of a sexual intercourse, and then the soul comes. The soul comes into the man, and the man passes the soul into the woman, and then from there there's the embryo form, and then you have pregnancy, and then you have birth taking place. But the law only glance, and that glance of the law is called Shambhu. Shambhu is Lord Shiva. He is the glance of the Lord. So the Lord himself, he does not contact material nature. He does not contact the material energy, but his contact with the material energy is Lord Shiva. That Lord Shiva is called the Shambhu. He is the one who has a direct contact with material energy. In this case, Durga Devi. And so therefore Lord Shiva is called the father nature. And then the Durga Devi, she's the mother nature. But the glance of Lord Vishnu is said to be Lord Shiva. That's the description that is there in the Brahma Samhita. So it mentioned that Nityo Nityanam, what is that? Nityo Nityanam. Nityo Nityanam.
Chetanas Chetananam.
Yeah, Chetananam. So the Nitya means the eternal. There are so many Nitya means eternal. The Nityana means among the eternals. Among the eternals. You have Nitya and then you have Nityanam. So Nityanam, which is the Sanskrit grammatical thing, in the Shaptami, the seventh declension, which means of all the living entities, that he is the origin, he is the supreme eternal for the living entities. Eko Bahona Yuvidatikaraman, that he is among all the living entities, all the other living entities, they've come from him. So there's a lot of technicalities which we can go through, but what I want to talk about now is about Lord Krishna's appearance today. I don't know, yesterday, now of course today is the Nandotsava. Nandotsava means the festival of Nanda Maharaj. Because when Krishna took his birth, it was midnight. It was midnight that Krishna made his appearance. So, which means everybody was sleeping. And it was the next morning that all the Brajavasis, they come to know that Krishna had taken his birth. He had making his appearance. So, as mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adilila chapter 4, Adilila, I think the beginning of the Adilila. So the Lord, he wanted to have some kind of relishment. After all, he is a living being. Of course, he is the supreme living being. And the nature of every living entity is to seek pleasure. Ananda Maya Vyasat. Ananda Maya means the pleasure seeking. Ananda Maya Vyasat. This is from the Brahma Sutra. that the nature of the Lord is the pleasure seeker and not the highest beasted. Now, when you are God, when you are in the position of always being giving, you are the one giving to everyone. So where's the enjoyment there? Enjoyment is not there. That you always have to give. Just like a king or the president of a country, the king, president, prime minister, he's there in his office all day long, and everyone is simply coming to ask for favor, blessings or something. So he's busy, interacting with people all the time, signing checks or signing papers, all these things, listening to people's problems all the time, So he's performing all this duty, but those duties does not give him any pleasure. Doesn't give him any pleasure. Like it's a matter of duty. He's not getting any pleasure out of it. But as a living entity want to get some joy, some pleasure. So when the king, the president, when he goes to his house, so that's where he gets his happiness. That's where he gets his joy from. When he goes to his house, just like many of you are professionals who are working in various offices. So you have to perform so many of your duties. But when you go back to your house, what happened? Your wife come to you, she gave you some pets, whatever, kiss on the cheek or something like that. Your child come to you and sit on your lap, jump on your lap, whatever, jump on your back, all these things. So what happened is that you get happiness. It becomes joyful thing. It becomes joyful thing. It becomes, oh, so nice that your child has come, jump on your back. Sometimes the child may slap you or whatever it is, Just like one time there was some story that there was an appointment that was made appointment was made to see a big man in his office. So appointment was made to see a big man in his office. And then, so the people, they went to see the man. Normally in all the big offices, the big man, he has the office is there, and it has to be secretary in the front office to tell to tell you that, okay, you have to wait because the big man is inside, so you have to wait. So they went to see this person, and so they were told to wait. So they were waiting in the front office. They were waiting. But there was no indication when the man is going to tell them to come inside. They were simply waiting for a long time, simply waiting. So everybody became very impatient. So they wanted to know what's going on, why the big man is not giving any indication that the guests are there waiting. So then somebody opened the door. And when they opened the office door, and they found that the man, he was on his hands and leg. And then on his back was his grandson was on his back, telling him, directing him to go here and there. So it was like he was on his hands and leg, going here and there, he's being directed by his son. The son is directing me, parting him, say that go this way, and the man is going this way, go this way, So the man, he was doing that, and that's the way he's getting his joy is there. He forgot the fact that some people are waiting for him. That's a secondary. So Krishna is saying that people, the whole universe is filled with so many people making all kinds of prayers to me. The whole universe is filled with people making prayers. And like in the Vedic scriptures, there's full of so many stutis. Stutis means prayers. You have all the Vedas, Rig Vedas, Sama Vedas, so many Vedic scriptures are there. Even when you read BHAGAVATAM, Bhagavatam is full of prayers to God. So the Lord said the whole universe is full of people, just people trying to get favor from me. All the universities, people, demigods, sages, everyone, brahmanas, making prayers. Just like when you go to the temple, especially like Venkateshwara temple, in South India. I was in South India recently, whereby we went to some very historic temple, like Guruvayu temple, many of these historic temples. So in the morning and evening, there's like a procession of the elephants with the recitation, so many brahmanas chanting, so many prayers, so many recitation of prayers are there. Then Krishna says, he said, all these prayers do not satisfy me at all. This does not give me any joy, all these prayers. I'll be much more satisfied if I can get chastised by someone who has developed love for me. I can feel joy if somebody do not see me as a superior. They actually see me as inferior, whereby they can chastise. So therefore, the Lord said, when my devotees in Vrindavan, when they call me ill names, like a Makancho, the butter tips. When they call me ill names, this gives me so much pleasure than all the prayers that is in the Vedas, all these prayers. This, when people actually call me ill name, this will be when my loving devotees call me ill name. Yeah, this gives me pleasure. So therefore, I'm going to manifest a pastime that's much more extraordinary pastimes, which will be unheard of. So, and that is the whole purpose of Krishna's advent. That's the whole purpose of his advent. To manifest pastimes in the company of his loving devotees. In the company of his loving devotees, to manifest this pastime by which anyone who hear about it, they will just become amazed. Even when they hear it, they will not even believe it. They say, okay, talk of God. God is the productive, and God is the one who is there, who in the forest, in the nighttime, in the forest, he will be playing flute, calling upon the young ladies to come and meet him in the forest. Oh, no, this is not good. This is not good. So people will have this, this kind of ideas. So to go into the story, there was a great person. His name was called Devamida. A devotee of Devamida was his name. And this great person, he had two sons. Actually, Devamida, he was a Kshatriya. Being a Kshatriya, he had two wives. In the Vedic culture, just like our African culture, you can have many wives. So he had two wives. Now, one of his wives from a Kshatriya, normally a Kshatriya, you can only marry, normally Kshatriyas, the people on different caste systems, they will marry within their particular caste. So for example, if you're Brahmana, you marry with the Brahmini community. If you're Kshatriya, you marry within the Kshatriya community. Or if you're Vaishya, you marry within the Vaishya community. And if you're a Shudra, of course, you marry within your particular community. However, some high-class men, some like Kshatriyas or the Brahmanas, they can marry, they can choose another caste. For example, if a Brahmana can marry a Kshatriya wife or Vaishya wife, a Brahmana can do that. Similarly, also a Kshatriya also can also marry a Vaishya woman. So it so happened that Devamida, he had two wives. One wife was from a Kshatriya family, and another wife was from a Vaishya family. So, and Devamida had two sons. One son was from the Kshatriya wife, so his name was Surasena. And Surasena, so he became the father of Vasudeva. And then from his Kshatriya wife, he begot a son, and the son's name was Pajanya. That's from his Kshatriya son. So Pajanya, so he was of the Vaishya woman. So ultimately, when he became the king of the Vaishya community. He became the king of the Surasena. He was the Mathura. He was the king of the Kshatriya community, and Pajanya became the son of. He became the king of the community of Vaishyas. Now Pajanya had 5 sons. 5 sons he had. Those 5 sons are Upananda, Sunanda, Abhinanda, Nanda, and Nandana. Those are the 5 sons of. Those are the 5 sons of Pajanya Maharaj. So when Pajanya Maharaj, when he became very, very old, so he decided to give the kingdom to his older son. The oldest son was Upananda, which is normally upon the very time, very culture. The older son, he normally take over from the father. So Upananda became the king. So after Upananda became the king, so one day he called up a big meeting. He called up a big meeting of all the Cowhead men, He called up a meeting. And in that meeting, he said that my younger brother, Nanda, he had such an exceptional quality. He had such a quality that no one has such thing. He was very, very considerate to everyone. He's very, very loved by everyone. He has such a great quality that he should be the king. And the fact that Upananda, which means I want to see myself see myself as being under the protection of Nandana. So just to cut the story short, so Nanda Maharaj, even though he was younger to Upananda, but Upananda said, no, Nanda Maharaj should be the king. Nanda Maharaj should be the king instead of me. And all of us will be very, very happy to serve under him. So Nanda Maharaj became the king of the Cowherds. And of course, then Nanda Maharaj was married to Yashoda Maya. So that time there was both Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they had no son. For a long time, they had no issue. So they had no son, and this became a very, very troubling situation for the community of Cowhead, that our king and his queen, they have such a great personality, so they have such sublime qualities, but they don't have son. They have no son. So this became the big worry of all the Brajavasi. Became a big worry. So, and then so many persons, they started figure out what to do, what they can do in order for Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they are getting old. Nanda was already having some kind of a gray hair. And still there's no son. There are no issue. So, and then there was a Rishi, his name is Bhagavad Rishi, who was the priest of Nanda Maharaj. So Bhagavad Rishi, he will perform so many Vedic sacrifices just so that Nanda Maharaj could have a son. And then also, Nanda's father, Panjab Maharaj, he very, very much that to have a grandson. So he started worshiping Lord Narayan, worshiping Lord Narayan intensely, praying to the Lord Narayan that please let my son Nanda have a son. And then one day, one lady came to Vrindavan. Her name was, this very lady is very actually an ascetic lady, ascetic. So he came to Vrindavan with 2 sons, with 2 persons, with 1 daughter and 1 son. And this lady was an ascetic, and when she came, she was very much, welcome, accepted by, and venerated by the Brajabasis. So she said that my name is Punamasi, and I've come here to Vrindavan because I can see that something great is about to happen here in Vrindavan. So therefore I've come. And then she advised Nanda and Yashoda that yes, you're going to have a son. You're going to have a son. But in order for that to happen, you have to start performing. You have to start observing Ekadasi. You should observe Ekadasi for 1 year. Observe Ekadasi for 1 year. You do it without fail, very strictly. You do it without fail. And after this period, a son will be manifested. You get a son. Of course, whatever I'm talking about, this is described by Jiva Goswami in the Gopal Temple. So, following the advice of Purnamasi, so Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, so they were following the strictly Ekadasi. Strict Ekadasi means fasting, no eat, nothing, no eating. I thought the whole day long, no eat, and then also you have to wake up all night long. The whole day not eat anything, and you have to wake up all night long, singing the Lord's name obviously, and then in the morning. And then you observe the Dwadasi in the morning. So this was followed strictly by Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya for 1 whole year. They have observed this strict Ekadasi. And then eventually, so one day, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they were both sleeping. And then as they were sleeping in the night, one beautiful child appeared before Nanda Maharaj. One beautiful child came, beautiful boy, blackish boy came, beautiful, and just came and entered the heart of Nanda Maharaj. So Nanda Maharaj was obviously was so happy. His body was full of ecstatic symptoms. And then the same boy entered Nanda Maharaj, and then he came out from the heart of Nanda Maharaj and went into the heart of Yashoda Maya. So the Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, she also has the same dream, seeing a child entering her heart. So in this way, the Krishna actually appear within the body of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya. And actually, when both of them wake up in the morning, when they wake up, both of their bodies was full of ecstatic symptoms that Nanda Maharaj was telling Yashoda that I just had a dream. I saw one beautiful boy entering my body. And Yashoda Maya said, yes, also I just had a dream. I saw one beautiful boy entering my heart. So both of them feel so ecstasy. They cannot contain. So in this way, Krishna took shelter Krishna appear within the body of both devotee King Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya. Now there are many narration that is there, whereby it mentioned in the Puranas that there are two persons, Drona and another person. Drona was the name of that Drona, and I forgot the other name. They performed they performed tapasya for like 10,000 years. They were performing tapasya so that they can have God as their son. Yeah, so they mentioned, and this Drona and Dronas, then they became Nanda and Yashoda. But however, according to the description of the devotional scripture, that Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, they are eternally in Goloka Vrindavan. So, and when Krishna was about to start his pastime, all the devotees in Goloka Vrindavan, they also came down and they take birth in a different situations. And so the Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, this person who called Drona and Drona, who are performed tapasya, they actually merged within the body of Nanda and Yashoda and Mother Yashoda. So we cannot say that Nanda, this person who are performing austerity, they are like the austerity became Krishna's mother and father. Now, how does this connect us? Because when I'm speaking, I can speak from the view of the Prajapasi, but we know, like if you read Krishna book and many Bhagavatam 10 canto, and you heard that yes, Krishna took birth in Mathura, in the prison house of Vasudev, and taken birth in prison house of Vasudev, and then he was taken to Vrindavan. He was taken to the house of Nanda Maharaj in midnight by Vasudev. Now, here the situation here, according to our Siddhanta, that when Kamsa was taking his sister was getting married to Vasudev, and the Kamsa he was driving the chariot of his sister, because his sister had married to he was about to get married to Vasudev. And as he was driving the chariot, he heard a voice from the sky. The voice said, "Oh, Kamsa, your sister, you are driving the chariot, her sons, her 8th son, he's going to kill you. Her 8th son will kill you because of your death." Now, because Kamsa was a demon, so the moment he heard this, that the son of his sister is going to kill him, he said, "Oh, what is this?" So he immediately took up his sword. He decided to kill his sister. He decided to kill her on the spot. Went to kill her. Say, "What is this?" Because the demons, they have nothing in their heart. It's your sister is getting married, and they all of a sudden he wanted to kill her. So, and then of course, Vasudev, he had to intervene. He spoke so many philosophy, trying to convince Kamsa not to kill his sister. He used so many logic, using the text that, "Oh, how can you kill your sister? What will the people think of you? Aren't you afraid of what society will think of you, that you kill your sister?" And then he talked about science of the soul, that actually we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Material body is temporary, but the soul is eternal. So Vasudev tried to teach the Bhagavad Gita philosophy. They knows me to the hey, Koma Yovanan Charita. Komana Yovanan Jara Tata the Antra Prapti. Dirastatana Muhoyati. So I tried to preach the philosophy of the Gita. But Kamsa was not having none of that. So eventually Vasudev said, "Look, you know, the eighth child of your sister is said to be killed. But I want to do one thing. Let your sister live, and every child that she deliver, I'm going to bring her to you. I'm going to bring every child that she deliver. I bring that child to you, and then you can do whatever you like with the child. You can do whatever you like. So Kansa, he became because Kansa could say that Vasudev is an honest man. Is honest. So okay, he agreed. For some reason, he agreed. All right. So Vasudev is a man of his word. He will never break his word. So Kansa agreed. So therefore, and of course, after initially, Kamsa let loose. He let Vasudev and Devaki go. But after Vasudev and Devaki, he let them go. So the next day, Narada Muni came to him. Said, hey, Narada, hey, Kamsa, Vishnu is supposed to be coming to kill you. So how can you let Vasudev and Devaki go? Because the person who's going to kill you, the eighth child, is Vishnu, but it can come in any of those child. It can be the first one, it can be the second one, it can be, So how can you just become so magnanimous that way? Yeah, Narada, of course, Narada Muni had the purpose in his doing that. So when Kamsa heard this from Narada, then immediately arrested Vasudeva and his wife, Devaki. He arrested them and put them into prison. He put them into prison, and then every child that whenever Devaki bore a child, so Vasudeva would take the child he would take the child to Kamsa. But Kamsa, of course, being a heartless person, will immediately kill that child. So Kamsa was doing, Vasudeva was doing that, taking all the child, whenever Devaki gave birth to the child, he will take to Kamsa, and the Kamsa will kill that child, up to the sixth one. And then the seventh child, the pregnancy of the seventh child. So this is coming to the time of the Lord's Advent. So in the seventh pregnancy, and that seventh pregnancy was actually Balaram. So the Lord, then there was the Lord Krishna told the Yogamaya that within the womb of Devaki is an expansion of mind. This expansion of mind, you should transfer him to the womb of Rohini. Transfer him to the womb of Rohini, and myself, I will personally descend in the womb of Vasudeva, in the womb of Devaki. So Balaram was transferred to the womb of Rohini. So within the palace, within the prison, so that time it was known that Devaki had a miscarriage, because the embryo had been transferred into the womb of Rohini. So and of course Rohini had been transferred to Vrindavan by Vasudeva. So then Lord Krishna came and manifested himself into Devaki, into Vasudeva and Devaki. So when Krishna appeared into Devaki's prison, he came in his Vishnu form. He didn't come as a child Krishna. He came in his Vishnu form, big Vishnu form. It was midnight when he came, and then when he appeared within the prison house of Kamsa, so there was a prayer which was being made, which both Devaki and Vasudeva, which they made to to the Lord in his Vishnu form, 4-arm form, not Krishna 2-arm form, 4-arm form. And then they pray a lot more. And then Devaki was saying that, so my Lord, people will joke about me. He will make fun of me if I tell them that Lord Vishnu, so big, he had appeared to be my son. So my Lord, please transform yourself into a baby. Transform yourself into a baby. So listening to the request of Devaki, so the Lord, he turned himself into a baby. He became a baby. And then Devaki, he put that baby on a lap and then feed that baby her breast milk. So, and then the Lord told her, he said, now take me to Vrindavan, take me to the house of Nanda Maharaj. So it was midnight. So now the Devaki and the Vasudev, he put the baby in a basket, and they carried that basket. It was middle of the night and it was raining heavily. So at that time, River Yamuna was filled up because he had to cross River Yamuna in order to get to the other side, to get to the Gokul, which is the house of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. So he had to cross the river, and the river was full. But even though the river was full, Yamuna was so happy that, oh, my Lord has come, my Lord has made his appearance. And as Yashoda was, as Devaki was, as Vasudeva was crossing the river, the river was getting higher, was getting higher. Why? Because she want to touch the feet of the Lord. So the river was getting higher, and Vasudeva was panicking. Said, "Oh, I'm going to drown in this river along with the baby." So he was panicking somehow. So anyway, so Krishna, as a baby, he turned his baby foot. He took it out, his baby foot out of the basket, and by taking it, and that baby foot touched the Yamuna. So Yamuna was gratified, and then Yamuna passed it, and then she went down again, and the Vasudev crossed the river very, very peacefully. It was midnight, so Vasudev crossed the river, and then in the meanwhile, in the house of Yashoda and then Maharaj, so it was midnight. The nurse of Yashoda, her name was Mokara. There was a nurse who was supposed to be there looking after Yashoda Maya for a delivery. But for some reason, she fell asleep. She fell asleep for some reason, and then Mother Yashoda, she was then it was a time for Krishna to actually come out of her womb. She was making, first of all, she had two child within her. One was a girl and one was a boy. So first the girl came out of her body, and that time Mother Yashoda, she was so tired. She was very, very tired, she fell asleep. So the two child came out of her body. She didn't know. One was a daughter and one was a boy. So when Vasudeva came with baby Krishna from Mathura, and then he put the baby Krishna down, and then he took the daughter away. He took the daughter instead to cross to go back to the present house in Mathura. However, the baby Krishna that was brought from Mathura, that baby Krishna merged into the original Krishna form in the mother Yashoda, which I'm talking about. So which means the original Godhead, the original Krishna, is not the one who took birth from the womb of who transformed himself in the prisoners of Kamsa, who became the child of, because sometimes they say that Krishna is the foster child of Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda. No, that's not the case. Krishna is not foster child of Nanda and Yashoda. Krishna is the original form. The Krishna from Mathura emerged into the Krishna form, Krishna of Vrindavan. So therefore, he's always said that Krishna of Vrindavan is different from Krishna of Mathura. Now another thing is that a lot of narration is there that Krishna killed so many demons in Vrindavan. A lot of demons were killed in Vrindavan. And the demons, the one who's Krishna is originally from in Vrindavan, actually never really touches the demon. It was Krishna from Vrindavan, Krishna of Mathura, who's already within the Krishna's original form, Krishna's form. Is that Krishna that they always kill the demon? Because Krishna being the original personality of God, being the original form of God, when he appeared, all other expansions, all other incarnations, they all appear within his body. They all appear within his body. Actually, when after Krishna was born, I mean, we said born, actually, the Lord does not take birth. But for the pleasure of his devotee, he takes birth for the pleasure of his devotee. Is it, when you read the prayer of Queen Kunti, whereby she's praying that this is bewildering to us when we hear about you taking birth in the house of a cowherd boy, even though you are unborn. And when you hear about you being chastised by your mother, but the fear personified is afraid of you. So this, when we hear about this pastime, this becomes very, very bewildering to us. It's very, very bewildering to us. So anyway, the Krishna, this is something we just have to understand, because that, yes, the Lord is there. Because the Lord, how does he want to enjoy himself? How can he enjoy himself as God, playing with his devotees? He cannot do that. So therefore, he has to become like his own devotees. He has to become like them so that they can have this loving relationship with him. So in Vrindavan, Krishna is never known as God. Krishna is just a wonderful personality. When after Krishna took his birth, so after a few days, Gagamani came to Vrindavan. So Gagamani came to Vrindavan. Now Gagamani, he knows Krishna is God. He knows that this is Narayana himself, this is God himself. But he does not want to disturb the mood of Vrindavan. He does not want to disturb the mood of Nanda Maharaj, because Nanda Maharaj is so happy that in this old age of mine, I finally have a son. And this son became the delight of all the Brajavasis. So when Gagamani came, and so he came to the house of Nanda Maharaj, and then so Gagamani was supposed to do like a naming ceremony. And then Gagamani told Nanda Maharaj that, they said, this son of yours, he has the power of Narayana. This son of yours is not an ordinary son. He has the power of Narayana, and he's going to remove all the fear of the Brajavasis. So when Nanda Maharaj heard this, he said, oh, how wonderful that my son is going to have the power of Narayana. Now, it doesn't mean that my son is Narayana, because Gagamani didn't never tell him that your son is Narayana. He just said, your son is going to have the power of Narayana. So therefore, Krishna killed so many demons in Vrindavan. And whenever Krishna killed a particular, and these demons are so powerful, but whenever Krishna killed a particular demon, so Nanda Maharaj will say, oh, the what Gagamuni has said is true. That this son of mine, he has the strength of Narayana. He has the son of Lord Narayana. So therefore, this is how wonderful that my son has the strength. So it never come across his mind whatsoever that his son is Narayana, that his son is the Supreme Lord. So there's one devotee who had made a prayer. He said I forgot the exact Sanskrit. Anyway, his prayer is that he said so many persons, they are worshiping the Supreme Lord Krishna, the Upanishads, the many sages, they are worshiping the Supreme Lord Krishna, chanting so many prayers. Say, but me, I simply want to worship Nanda Maharaj. I want to worship Nanda Maharaj because Nanda Maharaj, in his courtyard, the Supreme Lord is playing in his courtyard. The Lord Krishna, the Lord is playing in his court. So therefore, I want to worship Nanda Maharaj because sometimes Nanda Maharaj will call Krishna. We say, oh, my dear Krishna, bring my shoe, bring my shoe. And then Krishna, as a baby, as a child, Lalu, we call him, Lalu Gopa Krishna. He will take the shoe of Nanda Maharaj on his head. He will take the shoe of Nanda Maharaj on his head to his father. So this is unimaginable that God carrying somebody's shoe. Anyway, so this person who had who had composed this prayer, he said that I want to worship Nanda Maharaj because the Supreme Lord is playing in his courtyard. So anyway, because the time is going, this description of Lord Krishna's baby pastimes, we can discuss this for a long period of time. It's actually this description is the delight of the devotees. It's the delight, it was a delight. The gopis, they've said one thing, they said one beautiful prayer. The gopis said, Tabakatamita tapta jivanam kavibihuditam kamasapaham savana mangala sudanatatam bhuviginantiye buridachana. So this is what the gopis have said when they were searching for Krishna in the forest. So they said this prayer that, oh, dear Krishna, Savakatamita tapta jivana, that the topic, discussing your topic, the topic of your pastimes, of your activities, is the life-giving nectar of the whole world. Tapta jivana is what this is what gives life to every living entity in this world. That by discussing by Krishna, by hearing by Krishna, one get lives. And then Kavibi Udita Kamasapaha. And then the Kavis of the sages, they've said the same thing. They said that hearing about Krishna, it removes all the afflictions of this material world. Kalmasa, Palmasa. Paha means to remove. It gets rid of all the tribulation of this material world just by hearing about Krishna. And then Savana Mangala Sridhanatata. And it's very, very beautiful to hear. Who would not want to hear about Krishna? God. Hear about his pastime. It's very beautiful to hear, very joyful to hear. Savana, hearing. Mangala means very auspicious to hear. Sridhanatata. Very wonderful to hear. And then the gopi, they said something. They said, oh, by the way, Burida, what is that? Burida Arjuna. So anyway, the gopi, they said that the talks about you is so great. It gives life to everyone. It removed all the affliction of this material world. It's most auspicious, it's more beautiful, it's more sweet. And those who preach this glory of yours, those who preach those who actually broadcast your name, your activities, your pastor, those personalities, they are the greatest well-wisher. They are the greatest philanthropist. So in this way, the gopis, they glorify the preachers of the holy name. They glorify the preachers of the glories of the Lord's pastime. So therefore, which brings us to this topic of Prabhupada being today's appearance. That so you can see it's not a coincidence that Lord Krishna appeared in the midnight, last midnight, and then the next morning, Prabhupada appeared the next morning. Prabhupada made his appearance the next morning. So because Prabhupada is the idea, he's the one who gave Krishna to the whole world. Before Prabhupada came to the West, nobody knew about Krishna. But he gave Krishna to the whole world. And so especially we, even India also, even not because of what Prabhupada has done, people will just remain as confused as ever. So, and it's there in the predictions. It was there in the scripture that one day, Senapati Bhakta, which means a commanding general of my devotee, will one day came and spread my name all over the world. So a Senapati Bhakta Senapati means the commanding general. We one day come and spread the glories of Krishnas all over the world, the glories of Bhagavad all over the world. And that person, of course, is Lord Krishna. So this is Lord Nityananda, he made this prediction. So actually one of Prabhupada's godbrother, he did say that Prabhupada actually was an incarnation, was an empowered incarnation of Lord Nityananda. So I'm going to stop here. It's kind of nice to be talking about this. So to some Krishna Katha for everyone. And by this talking, I can get some benefit from it. And also I can also benefit others also who are hearing this Krishna, the topic about Lord Krishna. The topic of Lord Krishna is the most mysterious. It's the most mysterious thing because the more we hear about it, the more we have to contemplate on what we're hearing. That how do we understand that Krishna? There are two Krishnas, one Krishna of Vrindavan and a Krishna of Mathura. How do you understand that? This understanding is very, very mysterious. And those devotees who are lucky, those devotees who are very, very fortunate, they can have this understanding. And of course, we can have this understanding, especially those who have taken the holy name, who are chanting the holy name of the Lord. They can have this understanding, because by chanting, the realization will come. The realization will come by the Lord. And the purpose, the reason of his appearance, the sweetness. So if there's any question, or somebody wants to say something, you can please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Yes, I see a hands up. Vara Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Vara Prabhu.
Thank you very much for the wonderful kata and happy Jamastami to you and to all the devotees, on the platform. Thank you very much for that wonderful kata. But there is, I have a question. First question, maybe two questions, but the first one, when you were describing how Krishna how he desires to enjoy a relationship, it's not just giving, but he wants to also receive chastisement, and when people speak ill of him, it gives him pleasure. So I'm just wondering that in many cases, we seem to how do you say, resemble Krishna. We seem to resemble Krishna in many ways, you know, the little independence and the little qualities of everything. But this one quality, we don't seem to have it. This quality of wanting to be chastised and to enjoy being spoken ill of, that's why is it that we human beings, we do not, you know, copy that word from Krishna? I wonder why. Because all other qualities that we seem to have it small, but this one, we don't have it there. So tell me why, please, Prabhu.
Yeah, Dr. Prabhupada was giving a lecture one time. And in that lecture, he said that if a man is sitting somewhere, he has some money in his pocket. Someone come and take the money out of his pocket. So this person will say, hey, thief, thief, thief. We start chasing the person, thief, thief, thief. Call him, in Nigeria, we say, we start saying, holy, 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 It's like, rather the person if he's saying that, he come to steal from. But the same person have money in his pocket. If his wife come and take the money out of his pocket, same money, he'd be very happy. He say, oh, this is nice. This is good. This is nice. So the same person who, a thief come, take the money out of his pocket, he was angry, chasing the person, ready to do whatever. But the same person with the same money in his pocket, his wife come and take the money out of his pocket. So he's happy for this. Oh, this is nice. This is good. So this also, there's something that gives us pleasure in this world. What gives us pleasure is the relationship that we have, is the loving relationship that we have. And that relationship is only with let's say with the relatives, like your son or the girlfriends or the husband or the lovers, whatever. This is what give relation. This is what actually give life a meaning. This kind of things. So, of course, as you said, the this kind of things is difficult. And I actually, I give the example of the leader of a president or a king, whereby in the kingdom, when everyone is in his office, he's not really happy. He's just doing activity. He's not really happy. He's just doing what he has to do. Okay, whatever. He's doing our thing. Some will criticize him, some will praise him, but when he's in his home, he's a different person. And his home is no more the leader, is no more the president or prime minister. He's just himself. He's just a husband, the wife, the lover, the father, the this and that. And people, and in the house, nobody call him the president anymore. Nobody call him the king anymore. It's just the way he is, regular in this particular with the relation. So similarly, also the Lord is like that. That's when you will find this in chapter 4 of the Lila from Chitamita. This is very, very nicely described. Whereby the Lord said, I don't get any pleasure when people are simply praying to me. Everyone wants something from me. But I'm most satisfied when I'm chastised by my beloveds, by my loving devotees, when I'm chastised by them. Just like sometimes the Krishna's friend, they will tell Krishna that, hey, Krishna, what kind of big man are you? You think you are big? Let me fight with you. Let's see, let's compare our strength. And then they will fight with Krishna, and then they will defeat Krishna. They will fight with Krishna, and then they will defeat him during wrestling match. And when they defeated him, and as part of the rules for fighting, that whosoever loses will have to carry the victor. So Krishna will carry his, especially when he fought with Sridham or Subal, they will defeat him, and then Krishna will carry them on his back, Or sometimes when they are eating together, they'll be exchanging the food, you know, like the cowherd boys, they will take food from their plates and then they put in the Krishna's mouth. Krishna will do the same, you know. So we can say that, okay, we say, okay, as devotee, we're supposed to take the prasad of Bhagavan, the Lord, but here the Lord himself the Lord is taking the food of his own devotee, you know, of his own. But these are not ordinary devotees, these are loving devotees. So the underlying thing is the love. The love is the love principle. The principle is the love. And because this love is this is selfless love, but this kind of love is not available in this material world. This kind of selfless love is not available in the material world. Why? Because in the material world, everyone is simply after their own selfish interest. But whereas in the love between God, Krishna, and his devotees is based on selfless love. So therefore, Krishna Kaviraj Goswami, he said there's two things: there's kam and there's prem. Kama means the desire, but this is personal desires. In the material world, what we say is kam. That's what's available. Whereas in the spiritual world, it's prem, love. So that love is not available in the material world. It's only available it's only in the spiritual world only. So we cannot compare the prem of the material spiritual world, we cannot compare it to the calm of the spiritual world. I mean, sorry, to the calm of the material world. Because everything is all based on the selfishness. Everything is just based on selfish purpose. But in the spiritual world, in the spiritual atmosphere, there's no selfishness. So devotees, as they become more and more, as they are loving feeling towards Krishna, become more and more, this mentality of love is becoming more and more, developed. But it's very, very difficult to find in material world, because in material world, it's all about what we want, or it's all about what we satisfy. So we cannot really have an adequate description of it, because it's the loving, is the love, or the relationship that Lord Krishna has in Vrindavan with his devotees is all based on pure love. No desire, no personal desire whatsoever. It's all based on pure love. So that pure love can only be found only within the association of the Lord and his devotees, the various devotees. And that's why the avatars, they always pray that somehow the devotees, they have to have a loving relationship among each other. Srila Rupa Goswami, he said Dadati Praginati, Goyam Akyati Prichati, Goyam Akyati Prichati, Bhungte Bhujate Sai, Bhungte Bhujate Saiva, no, Bhungte Bhujate Chaiva, Sad be Priti Lakshanam. Priti means love. The loving characteristics between the devotees. And this so Rupa Goswami describes 6 loving dealings between the devotees. Dadati Pragitnati means that the devotees they give charity to one another. They give and take. They exchange charity among each other. And then Goyam Akyati Prichati, which means they reveal their hearts to each other, and then they also make confidential inquiry of the other person. Just like when I ask you, dear Prabhu, how are you? This should be based on deep love. Not that because I'm envious of you, so therefore, how are you? And then if you tell me of your problems in life, then I become very happy with that. No. Goyam Akyati Prichati. Prichati means to ask questions. And then Bhungte Bhujate Chaiva, that now the devotees, they exchange prasad with each other. They give each other food, and then they give and they receive. So therefore, Rupa Goswami said these are the 6 characteristics of loving dealings among the devotees. This you will find in the nectar of instruction. So the love is there, that is can be exchanged between the Lord and the devotees. But it's difficult to find that love in the material world. Very difficult. Because everything is based on selfishness in the material world. I hope that answered my question. I know that maybe I've gone off the rails. I don't know.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Srimad, okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Anyway, you didn't address my question, but no problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. Now I have another question.
Okay.
I find that, of course, it is. We can see that on a higher platform, we can understand that all contradictory points, all contradictory factors, find themselves in God. On a higher level, we can understand that. On a unified level, it can be very difficult to understand contradictions, in God. But as we advance spiritually, knowing the inconceivable nature of God, we can accept some contradictory points, right? But one thing that I'm beginning to remark, and it's a bit bothering to my mind, because I feel that we are developing a way of escaping answering tough questions by saying that or sometimes we say that these contradictions are there. But I feel that if we're teaching absolute truth, we proud ourselves for teaching absolute truth which is not relative. And then again, we start saying that, contradiction, I mean, it's like, we're looking for cheap way of escaping tough questions, If we really proud ourselves of teaching absolute truth which is not relative and which is not subjected to, any fault under any circumstance, how come again we start looking for, a cheaper way of running away from answering questions by saying, So please, I'm beginning to realize that this is becoming a way in ISKCON of answering tough questions. So please, can you address this point? Hare Krishna.
Anyway, because you said yourself, so therefore you can ask this question. Of course, the process of realization of the absolute truth, it's all about question and answers. No matter whenever these sages get together, it's all about question and answers. There's one thing we mentioned in the scripture, said that Achinta Ye Kaluna.
Des fois, il y a sable dans ce qu'on sait. Ça, c'est la raison.
Oh, sorry. He's talking to somebody else. Go ahead, Prabhu.
So he mentioned that Achinta Ye Kaluna Yoja, that sometimes what is inconceivable sometimes may be difficult to express, because it's inconceivable to understand God. Just like Lord Brahma is saying, he's praying that, my dear Lord, many people say they know Krishna, they know you. Many people say they know you, but he said, let them talk that way. For me, he said that even if one is able to count every molecules, every atoms in the desert, if one is able to count every molecules, every atom in the desert, still one would never come to the conclusion of your glories. One would never come to the conclusion of understanding your glories. So this is Lord Brahma saying. Lord Brahma has got 4 heads, and each forehead is big, is deep with a deep intelligence. But he said that people think they know you, but he said let them just talk that way. This is Lord Brahma speaking. That sometimes the absolute truth, because absolute truth can always, it's said to be in the 5th dimension. Because this material world, it's all about what you can see in terms of height, breadth, and height. But the absolute truth is in the 4th dimension, actually, which means it's beyond what we can conceive. So which means we are capable to know something only what the Lord is allowed us to know. Only what the Lord is allowed us to know, we can only know that much, not more than that. So we may want to ask this and that, but if the Lord, it's just, as it's just a matter of, how can we know in truth? Because the Lord's characteristics, qualities, it's always increasing. His beauty is always increasing at every moment. It's always increasing. So how can we? So the proper answer to every question may not be possible, because the Lord is unlimited. The Lord is unlimited. It's unlimited. It's unlimited. We say that, okay, how can we say that the Lord in the middle of the night is playing his flute, is playing the flute in the middle of the night in the forest, and all the young ladies who they say that they're married to others, they all run to meet him in the forest. So how come with his playing this of his flute, he's attracting the wives of others? Now it so happened that when Krishna plays his flute, only those ladies can hear that flute. They can hear the flute, and then immediately they run to the forest. So it's like, okay, people ask those who are morality question, they ask this question, like, why is that? So therefore, we find that those who actually very addicted to the rules and regulation, when they want to worship Krishna, they worship Krishna, who is the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. But they don't worship Krishna, who is the lover of the gopis in Vrindavan. They worship Krishna only, who is the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. That yes, because there's never any ending to answering a question. There's never any ending. So therefore, the question may be asked, some reply may be given, but it's still like, but still, Achinta, still the Lord is inconceivable. Achinta Kalu, it's just inconceivable. The Lord is inconceivable. That's why it's called Achinta. So if it's inconceivable, it means we cannot conceive it, because we have no, let's say, mentality, or let's say, we can't, it's just beyond understanding, that's all. As Labakshidanta, it says the Lord is in the fourth dimension. So therefore, that's your question, which it remains stop at that only. It remains at that only. It's fourth dimension, means you cannot see what is beyond. So if you cannot see what is beyond, how can you describe what is beyond? How can you describe it if you cannot say it? So that's just what I can say about it. So therefore, we cannot blame the sages, the devotees, when they tell you that it's inconceivable. Because it's inconceivable, that's it, it's inconceivable.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, His Grace Ishara Prabhu.
I hope you agree with me this time, Vara Prabhu.
Yes. I agree with you. Thank you, Prabhu.
And thank you for your questions, Shimavara Acharya. Well, thank you again, Ishara Prabhu and Salika Prabhu. We kind of resolved yesterday that we would like to try to keep our online classes to not more than 90 minutes. But I guess today is a very special day. It's a combination of Lord Krishna's appearance and Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada's appearance. So we are excused, and please forgive us for going beyond 90 minutes. So it's a very special occasion. So thank you so much, Ishara Prabhu, for such a wonderful delivery of Krishna Katha. One thing I would like to say is that there are so many complexities talking about Krishna, dealing with Krishna, which in one sense, excuse me to say, does not make sense, but in other sense makes sense. So this same Achintya Veda Abhida Tattva comes across, whether we like it or not. But you did make a statement that some devotees or some people say that Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Devi are the foster parents of Krishna. But you said, no. Well, there is, let me see here. There is a lecture that Srila Prabhupada gave on January 11th, 1974. And in that lecture, Srila Prabhupada said this. I mean, you all can see SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM 1:16:16. It's January 11th, 1974. And it's been transcribed. And in the statements, Srila Prabhupada did state exactly what you were saying, some people are saying. Some people are saying that because that is what Srila Prabhupada has said. And let me see here. I highlighted it, but I don't know where it is now. Okay. Srila Prabhupada, I'm looking for it. But in this lecture, Srila Prabhupada said specifically, categorically, that Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda are foster parents. The real mother is Devaki, the real father is Vasudeva.
Are you finished?
Yeah. So I'm thinking that instead of we saying that is not a fact, because there are many angles to Krishna's pastimes, but that is also a fact because that is what Srila Prabhupada has told us. But I'll look for it and highlight it. So if you have something to say in that regard, you may say that, you may go ahead. And we also would like to play a very brief tape of Srila Prabhupada, which kind of summarizes his whole purpose of descent in this material world to help the living entities. So you may go ahead, Ishara Prabhu.
Yeah, the audience, Srila Prabhupada will address particular audience, and especially when disciples are new, understanding is not so great. The deep tattva is not, the capability to understand deep tattva is not there in that particular period of devotional service. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada to talk accordingly. But if you read the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, which is in the this was in the, I think it's in the 5th chapter of the 10th canto. So whereby Srila Prabhupada wrote that yes, that Mother Devaki, she has two names. One is Yashoda and one is Devaki. And so therefore, Prabhupada said that when we say that Krishna is the son of Devaki, it's actually indicating only the Mother Yashoda only. Again, as you said, God has no father or mother. God is the father of everyone. So we should not assume that God has taken a birth. So which means, especially when somebody has taken a birth, which means he can also die. So there's no such a thing as God has. But for a specific relationship with his devotees, so therefore he become loving child of his devotees. In this case, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya. So when I speak, I don't speak based on my own speculation. I speak based on the scripture, based on the Shastra, especially the Goswami scriptures, the literature of the Goswamis, who have written extensively of the on the conclusion. They say now no, that the Goswami, they study very, very diligently every conceivable revealed scriptures, and then in order to establish the Dharma, the religious principle, in order to establish the religion for the age, the version of Dharma. So, and this is what you say, you read so many wonderful books like the Ananda Vrindavan Temple, Gopal Temple, BHAGAVATAM. So many wonderful scriptures are there. And then Srila Raghunadas Goswami, he wrote so many wonderful books. Srila Rupa Goswami, he wrote so many wonderful books. And the more you study these books, which we are supposed to do, Srila Prabhupada said we have to study all these books as we grow in our devotional service. Like whenever you read especially when you read the certain purport in the, let's say in the 10th country especially. So Srila Prabhupada, we say that this personality, they have written this way to address this point. Therefore, if you want to know more, then you should once you go and consult this particular literature. So Srila Prabhupada actually did encourage the devotees to study more, which means to dive deeply into the ocean of Krishna consciousness. You want us to dive deeply. And the more you dive deeply, the more you will come to realize. So saying that Krishna Vrindavan is different from Krishna Mathura, this is our acharya. This is what the acharya said. The Krishna who was brought from Mathura, he merged with the Krishna in Vrindavan, because Mother Yashoda, she did give birth to twins, not to one child. One is a boy, one was a girl. The boy, when Vasudev came, that boy merged with Krishna, already took birth in the womb of Mother Yashoda, and then the baby girl was taken to Mathura, and that baby girl actually happened to be Durga Devi, Ekanansa, who actually happened to be Durga Devi herself, the Matriya energy. So, that is there. It's not based on speculation, it's based on the realization, based on the script.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
What the I've given.
I did not, if my question came across like me trying to say you speculated, I'm really sorry. I never meant it that way. I never meant to say you are speculating. No. All I'm trying to say is that Srila Prabhupada, and thank Krishna, I found it and I've highlighted it. Srila Prabhupada says that when Krishna was a little boy playing, Nanda Maharaj, father of Krishna, Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they are foster father and mother.
But what you have to realize that
hold on, please. Real mother.
Listen.
Father is Vasudev and Devaki.
See, on this topic, this is not the only lecture of Prabhupada on this topic. This is not the only lecture. This is one lecture addressing a particular specific group, but there are many lectures of Prabhupada whereby Prabhupada will talk about Krishna being the son of Yashoda Maya, original son. So only one, but Prabhupada gave many lectures. And for example, Prabhupada gave certain lectures on the Chaitanya Charitamrita between 1966 and 68. And those lectures, they were full of what we call rasa. They're full of rasa, those lectures. However, after that, seeing the nature of the disciples, Prabhupada stopped giving these lectures. He stopped, and it was talking about, especially by the 70s, Prabhupada was talking more of Vanashrama, of general philosophy and all that, so that people can come to have the understanding. So Prabhupada is, you have to have a complete whole thing, not just one particular, some particular lecture, which there has to be a totality of that. In Bhagavatam, Prabhupada gave 630 lectures on the Bhagavatam. And I happen to be a person who's actually, I used to be in charge of distributing Prabhupada's teaching, Prabhupada's lectures. So he gave 630 lectures on Bhagavatam, and he gave about 900 something on the Bhagavad Gita, and then the lectures on the Upanishad, lectures on the Chaitanya Charitamrita, And then, of course, lot of general lectures. So when Prabhupada give lectures in Vrindavan is a different thing, but when he give lecture outside Vrindavan, it's also a different thing. So just like many devotees, they will take Prabhupada out of context. They say, oh, Prabhupada have said this, Prabhupada have said this. But Prabhupada have said this, but he also said other things also, because Prabhupada said two things which seem to be contradictory, but he said things which are meant for a particular audience. So therefore, I cannot agree with you that, yes, Prabhupada said that Krishna, that is the foster son of Nanda Maharaj. Because I know what Prabhupada said in both cases. And I know that Prabhupada cannot contradict his previous acharyas. He cannot contradict them. You know. So we just have to see things in proper perspective, that's all. When we read something, we should not just say this is the conclusion. There can be much more to that. That's the way of realizing the absolute truth. That's the way of digging into the absolute truth. There's always something much more than that. We should not stop at a particular point. Oh, this is it. This is what the chair say, and this is my conclusion. No, we have to keep going and on and on and on and on. We have to keep diving deep. And the more we dive deep into it, the much more we will discover.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ishara Prabhu. So on this account, it's almost 2 hours. We're going to hand the request to the devotees to kindly unmute. And we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace Ishara Prabhu. And today also being the appearance day of Patita Pavana Jagat Guru Prabhupada. Please unmute, Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha all glories to His Grace Ishwara Das Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai.